Walking around the streets of Zurich, Switzerland for the first time, I was surprised by how green and lush the city was. On almost every sidewalk and road median, there were rows of trees, flowers, or unkept grass. I was within walking distance of a beautiful and well-maintained park with open lake access, and discovered many more favorite places while exploring the city. I experienced on a personal level the scale of Zurich's commitment to greenery. As seen in the diagram, Zurich has a high amount of land covered by grasses and trees, with a smaller proportion of built-up land than expected. I felt so at home in the city so quickly because of the green interwoven into its fabric. I usually dislike cities in the United States for this exact reason, the lack of greenery within the city and ample public green spaces. But Zurich was different. So I wondered, what mechanisms are in place to protect and continually improve these public spaces? What sets Zurich apart from cities in the United States? Switzerland's political system plays an integral role in the high level of civil participation and community involvement in city planning. Federalism is essential to the government system. Power is divided between the federal, cantonal, and communal governments. In a US sense, cantons are like states, while communes are like towns or cities. Exercising significant influence, cantons have their own constitutions, parliaments, and laws, and often have more impact on a citizen's daily life than the federal government. Swiss citizens vote around 4 times a year on referendums, usually approving or disapproving of new laws or amendments to the federal constitution. These referendums can be triggered by the federal government or started by citizens that have accumulated 50,000 or 100,000 signatures. Within communes or municipalities, citizens also vote on referendums posed by the city government or groups of individuals.
My name is Christian Portmann. I'm a project leader at the Urban Space Group, Fachbereich Stadtraum in German, and here at the City of Zürich, Amt für Städtebau, which is the urban planning office. Last fall, there was like a public initiative by some citizens, which was about climate in the city, quality of air, and they asked the city to kind of invest more on planting trees. And now, since May, this is kind of in the legal code of the city, and also have like a bottom-up idea of legislation, how kind of citizens, not just like the administration itself, but also citizens kind of try to have an impact, let's say, in the greenery of Zurich, to find this line between changing things, making progress, but also guaranteeing that all the interests are like respected and also the quality is very high. How do we bring all these interests together? This is the challenge.
Walking around Zurich, it is clear that great care has been made for the development and planning of the city. Stadt Zurich, or the City of Zurich, creates detailed plans for future land use, green space integration, climate change mitigation, and improvement projects. The communal master plan for housing, landscape, public buildings, and facilities was initiated in 2021 and addresses population growth while preserving public areas and green spaces.
There is like a so-called Raumplanung on a federal level, which is kind of makes certain limitations or certain kind of guidelines on a national level. And then it's the duty or like the task of the cantone to kind of try to translate those that the cities and the communities can kind of implement these.
The 3D model shown was created by Stadt Zurich, or the City of Zurich, and represents all of the buildings, forested areas, and water bodies within the city's geographic limits. The model is constantly updated, with buildings in progress shown in white. Citizens and visitors can see the model at most hours of the day, highlighting the city government's transparency and its planning. Zurich's geographic limits are set, and legislation protects forested areas in the city. As a result, the government must densify structures to accommodate the proposed 520,000 people moving to the city. which will double the municipal population. Zurich is a lush and green city compared to similar urban centers in the United States. There are over 70 parks and green spaces in the city. About 25% of the urban land is covered by trees, including the roughly 5,500 acres of forest managed by the city government. But large green spaces are not the only focus of Grünstadt Zürich, or Green City Zurich, the department of Stadt Zurich that manages the parks, forested areas, and green areas.
It's not just green areas as parks, more in a kind of classical sense, but also the whole city and the adjacent areas to public property become one network of greenery and green spaces. But it's not parks are green and streets are grey, but it's all a network of like greenery and like high quality of life.
Zurich, Switzerland, has become the green city it is today due to its unique governance system that allows for greater community input, extensive city planning, and commitment to integrating greenery within the city, not just as large parks. As a visitor to the city, I could truly tell the dedication and care people had for public spaces and their communities. From citizens openly discussing infrastructure and social issues to city officials' attention to detail. People's active participation in society is ingrained in their way of being. I hope that US cities can take Zurich as an example for how to listen to citizens and plan for a brighter, more sustainable future. I will miss you and your greenery, Zurich.